Hey guys, Mr. Roden here. Let's go through your Venn diagram quiz and show you how to do it, and you can make your corrections and try to get your grade up on it. Okay. All right. Let's take a look. So um, I've crossed out this student. This student actually got a 24 out of 25, and I'll show you this person's mistake. But this person did such a nice job of showing their work, I decided to use this. So they did an excellent job of showing their work. Okay. So the first thing is they started as usual. Is you always want to start in the middle with X. Okay, so X is in the middle, and then they just went through and found. Let me just do the different colors here. They found this section here. They found this section here. They found this section here. And the way they got those sections is, well, let's see how they got the green section. The green section is, I believe, Austin. Oh, hold on. So the green section is well. Let's see here. So Austin and Chicago. Let's do the blue section. So the blue section is Austin and Chicago. So you take 31 minus X because 31 went to Austin and Chicago. The purple section is, what is that? That's Boston and what's the bottom one there? Chicago. Boston and Chicago. Now, 28 students went to Boston and Chicago, and then you got to subtract off the X for you have to subtract off the X for the overlap, the middle X, the yellow X, and then up top is what do we got? We have Austin and Boston. So where's Austin and Boston is 19. So that's the green section. So that's 19 minus X. Now, the next thing we want to do after we find the middle sections is we want to go ahead and find the outside sections, these sections out here. So we got, I'll just put all these sections in red. Okay, we want to find these red sections here. Now, how do we do that? Well, what we do is we take 53, because we know there's totally of 53 students went to Austin, and then we just subtract off on the Austin case, we subtract off the green, we subtract off the middle center X, and we subtract off the blue. And that's what this student did right here, if you can see that. And then it just becomes, you got to be careful. And if you notice this person in their step right here, they do the distributive property. That's really important. Okay, see the distributive property there? You got to subtract 50, but then that's going to switch the sign on your X, and you get 3 plus X. And that's the expression for this one right here. That's the expression for this one, 3 plus X. Likewise over here, you had to do 52, and then the person did the distributive property here, and they came up with, what is that? I think that's a 5 plus X right there. 5 plus X for their expression. And then down here for Chicago, they did everything, and they came up with the expression 6 plus X. Okay? So now what you want to do is, you know that there's no one that's not in these circles. Okay? So your equation needs to be all this stuff equals 100. So you take all of the expressions, every single color, all your circles, the 3 reds plus the green, the yellow, and the purple, and the blue, and then you set them equal to 100. And then it just becomes just very careful algebra. You want to make sure you get all your algebra done. So you get 92 plus X. When you simplify everything, you can see this person canceling out their X's and all that. You get 92 plus X right here. And then you just subtract 92, and you get X equals 8. Now, once you know that X equals 8, you just start working backwards. And so you go through there, and you can see that in this case, when you plug them in, I believe this one is going to be 11, and this one is going to be 11 right here. This one is going to be 13. X is 8. We already know that. This one's going to be 23, and then this one's going to be 20. Okay, so just look at that math really quick right there, and it should explain it. This person does such a nice job of going over that. All right, and then it's just answering questions. Okay, how many students visited Austin only? Well, that's the 11 in the red. How many students visited Boston only? That's the 13 in red. How many students visited Chicago? That's the 14 in red. Okay. How many students visited both Chicago and Austin and Chicago, but not, it was 11. and then 20 students were here, 23 students were here, and then 8 students were at the end. Okay, you guys see that? All right. So it's just, and those questions are just answering off the Venn diagram. So here's what I did. I made it, this one were 10 points, 10 out of 10. And then I just gave you a point for each one of these you answered. So this was plus 7. This was 7 out of 7. So right now there's 17 points for you. Okay. And so if you messed up on the Venn diagram, I probably gave you some points out of 10 just because maybe it was just an error, but you had to have the Venn diagram correct to get these 7 down here. So most likely if you scored low, these down here could have got you because your Venn diagram was wrong. So you had to have your Venn diagram correct to get those the ones up there. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one. All right. So the next one is, it says, in a class of students, the following data table summarizes how many students play an instrument or a sport. What is the probability that a student is chosen randomly, plays an instrument, plays randomly from the class, plays a sport or an instrument? Well, first of all, we got to know, you got to add those total columns up, and there's 29 kids that play instruments and sports. Okay. And so how many of them? So what do we have here? So we have 18 plays an instrument, and what do we got here? When they play a sport is 5. So 18 plus 5 is 23. And then after that, we are going to put that over 29 because there's 29 kids. So 23 over 29, and I believe that's reduced. So your answer is going to be 23 over 29 because 5 of them played sport, and then 18 of them played an instrument. So you add those two up, 23, and that doesn't reduce. All right, the next one says, so this one should have been, I can't remember what this one.
Hey, sir.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
I'm taping something. Let me pause it really quick. Sorry about that, guys. Mr. Jakowski came in and needed to hand me the golden ticket for today. All right. So now, so sorry about that. So this should be 30. This denominator here should be 30. And the reason why is if you add straight across here, 5 plus 14 gives you 19 here. And then 7 plus 4 gives you 11. And then 19 plus 11 equals 30. So it's going to be out of 30. So this student made it, that should have been out of 30. And then it should be, now how many male? The male ones are going to be 4. So it should be 4 out of 30, which reduces to 2/15. Okay. All right. So the next one is going to be, again, this one it's good to have those columns here. So you have 21, and this is asking for how many out of was basketball, which was 4. So 4 out of 21 is your answer. Plays basketball and baseball. So there you go. And then, so there's the 4 was basketball and baseball out of 21. And the last one is just going to be, let's see here. So it's going to be, a lot of you missed this one. So here's the thing. In a class of students, the following data summarizes how many students play an instrument or a sport. What is the probability that a student plays an instrument given they also play a sport? So given they play a sport. So the first thing we have to say is it's going to be out of 12 because they play a sport. Okay, see that? It's got to be out of 12 because 10 plus 2 is 12. This is given that they're given this. So this is a given. So you have to start with 12. You're not doing out of the whole thing. You're doing out of 12. And then what you do is, well, how many of those students out of 12 played an instrument? Well, 2 played an instrument. So it's going to be 2 out of 12 or 1/6. 1/6. And you're done. Hopefully this was helpful to you, and get your corrections in. Make sure you fix it and write a sentence what you did wrong and get it into me as soon as possible so I can get you some points back on your grade. Have a wonderful day. Bye.